Hey guys, this is Cosmos from CashFX. Welcome to our weekly analysis. And this time we're looking at Gbpjpy. We're trying to see what's happening in preparation for the week coming this week. I hope you guys had a very wonderful last week. I did. Trading Big 75. And without wasting much of a time, let's just go down trying to analyze this pair and see how we can create our trading opportunities for the coming week starting today night midnight. So yeah, basically when I begin to analyze, first of all I need to look at momentum and what's happening on the weekly, because I do I do a top-down analysis and then I make decisions based off the hard time frame. So looking at the weekly, we see that the weekly has come off from creating market structure highs and lows. Market structure high, and then we see also, just a minute, market structure low. Okay, so we see that Gbpjpy on the weekly, this is how it has been moving, creating market structure highs and market structure lows. This has been a trend. If we've seen, this has been a trend, and we saw some weeks ago when price was somewhere just a minute. Okay, now price is here, and this was our weekly previous low, this market structure low, and we see that on the weekly, price last week came down but failed to close below this week. So to us, this is something very, very important, and we need to now change or shift momentum, because we've seen that price has failed to continue below, or market structure price action has failed to close below this previous market structure low, telling us that price has got no much momentum. Despite this bigger momentum it came with, we see it failing to close below here. We don't know what the week coming is going to hold, but this is what market structure has currently told us right now, that price on the weekly has failed to close below this market structure low, this previous market structure low, as well as this previous market structure low, meaning price might be holding on to maybe change momentum to a bullish momentum. But how are we going to look at the daily? Let's see what the daily is also telling us. So the daily as well, these were just partial closes below this market structure low, but if we look at the previous basic market structure low, this one here, we see that the daily failed to even reach, and that's also something interesting to us. On the daily, let's look at the structure, how it's been coming down. Structure has been bearish, and in its bearish momentum, there's some things we need to note down. The things we need to note down are our previous levels of selling and buying, which we call, you call them supply and demand, whatever you call them. In our camp, we just call them order blocks, be it bullish or bearish order blocks. And not only that, we have, as well as breakers, mitigation blocks, things like that. So having noticed such, I'm looking at where price was likely turning. Price was likely turning here. We see price came down, retested, continued down, created this red candle, pushed price down below this low, came down, retested it. But what is price trying to tell us here? Price has been moving, creating market structure lows, which are not much significant on daily, but if you go down, for example, on the H4 and the H1, you're going to see that price has been moving very cleanly, making market structure highs and market structure lows, which is what we are interested in Let me just bring these guys here. Let me just bring these guys. Okay. This was our market structure high and a market structure low before price went dipping down. So what are we going to look to take from here? We see that price as it was coming down, it was not just only coming down, it was leaving out some specific key points we need to note down. And these can be useful in the future as we try to trade in case price maintains a reversal bullish momentum, because we've seen lately that the pound has been gaining momentum. And yeah, so anything is possible. We just need to prepare for everything. So this is what price has been doing on the day on the H4. It has been creating market structure lows and market structure highs, market structure lows and market structure highs. But upon reaching this market structure low here, we saw price on the H4. On the daily, it hasn't really closed above. On the H4, we see this thing happening here. To me, it is giving me second thoughts to say price might reverse or continue going down, because there's been a failure of candles to close above this previous high, this fractal high. And to me, that's something very, very key. And we need to see what happens as price opens this week, tonight, and make a decision of what Monday will give us. So just an advice for me, we don't usually trade Mondays, because Mondays, that is when market is trying to decide where it is about to go. And with that in mind, we just mostly watch on Mondays. So we trade indices on Monday. For currencies, we watch. So yeah, looking at what is happening here, market structure low has been created, market structure has been created. This is a range that we're looking at. But let me just remove this thing, just kind of disturbing. Okay, so our range now is between this market structure high and this market structure low, which is down here. So we shall watch these two. So now, what I do next after I note these things is I notice the previous levels of supply and demand, which are pushing price either down or up. So as we saw price coming down, there's some levels, for example, like this same level I've chosen. This is a level of previous pushing of price down, which pushed price down. And we saw when price came back to this level, price failed to go above this level. Instead, it just started dipping down. But as it is dipping down, what is price currently trying to tell us? What is price currently doing as it was moving up? As it was moving up, you see that it was creating some other areas of resistance and support. I don't know what you guys use, as we don't use those lines where we draw anyhow and try to notice some areas of support and resistance as we use this way. So as we now go down the H1, we see something very interesting too. In the H1, there is a mini trend, if you can see it. This is Gbpjpy. There's a mini trend being created here. This is a market structure low that was recently keyed in. We don't know if price will continue going up. You see that on the H1, price has managed to break above this level, and it has come to reverse here, telling me something that maybe price can continue going up. But we shall wait, because we're watching these ranges, because on the H1, there are these small ranges where price, which has been created by price, and we've seen they've been breaking to the upside. We had this market structure low, then this market structure high, and we now have this market structure low, and we now have this market structure low. Now, something fancy has also happened on the H1. If you've got eyes of a retail trader, like I have both of a retail trader and the technical mastery, you'll find out that price is actually moving in this range, in this channel. You see that price is moving in this channel. So now that since price is moving in this channel, what are we to expect now that price is at the critical point here? Well, let's wait for market opening and see where market will open to, and then we can make a decision later on after that. But for now, this is what Gbpjpy is giving me. This is what Gbpjpy is giving me. Let's wait and see what happens as market opens. So price is maybe going to dip above to create a market structure high, or if it breaks below this level, we shall continue because we've seen a break below this bullish order block, and there's been a retest here. So we shall wait and the signal shall be given as we see where market will close below. If it manages to close below, I mean, if today when market opens and we see price dipping below here, this level, this market structure low, this structure will be invalid. We'll have a downtrend continuing as below as these market structure lows. But if this setup will hold, we shall look for more buy setups as the pound is gaining more momentum. Hopefully this week coming, we shall see a continuation in the trend going up if market structure holds. So for now, let's just keep this in mind on Gbpjpy. This is a structure that is what we're going to be respecting. And as we respect this structure, let's always remember not to enter the market anyhow, but have what you're looking for in the market as we continue going on. So with that in mind, this is enough for Gbpjpy. Let's wait for some other currency pairs. That's it from me.